Here we are in the building. Me and Wong Gotti.
You about to say Wayne.
No, it's just the two of us. I think Ethan might be jumping on. Who knows? Wayne might pop in here or there. He's been growing a lot lately because Joker showed up big and Joker won a championship, and I don't think Wayne.
He's not ready. He can't accept it. It's
Yeah,
a shame. When Wayne get in his feelings, is a wrap.
yeah.
When he's wrong,
he in his feels right now. I could only relate it to how I would feel maybe if KD won a championship and Curry stunk it up in the playoffs, and then KD went on to play a masterful run and win the Finals MVP and all that. I feel some type of way. That's where Wayne is at right now. His favorite player, Joel Embiid, didn't play well, stunk it up. Joker came through, crushed the buildings, and he MVP. And he's the most reluctant Finals winner / MVP I've ever seen in my life. He like, oh man, I want to go home.
I want to go home.
They're like, bruh. Then he talk about he's happy about the parade and all this stuff. He's in parade talking about he loved parade and all this stuff.
Yeah,
like, bruh. I hear you. I guess he's homesick. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, ain't what they say, ain't no place like home. So I
can he been gone for what, since October, September, preseason.
Yeah,
so he ready.
He want to get home to his families, all his brothers, and all that kind of stuff like that. He probably want to celebrate with them.
Yeah, and his goats.
Yeah, exactly. So congratulations to Denver. I will say that. What's up, everybody? What's up, Phil? Teacher got game. What's going on? Whoever else
got games. What's good, y'all?
Live stream. What's going on? We just came to drop a power real quick. We told y'all we was going to try to do at least twice a week. Everybody was tired on Monday, so everybody checked out. But we here in the building. Go Ray, what's going on? He said hopefully Embiid put a battery in Embiid back to bring it next year. What's up, Ron L? Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is what I hope. I mean, it kind of put a battery in his back when he lost the MVP last year.
Yeah.
He came and had a masterful regular season. So hopefully seeing Joker go off like this and get all the props that he justly deserves, hopefully he put a battery in Embiid back and he come back and do his thing next year. We'll see. I think Maxey, if anybody I'm expecting to see some improvement from is Maxey. Even remember, no Tyler Hero 20-point scorer. Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I mean, Phil, that happens. You can look at every finals winner since the time of Jordan, and you can say that. You can say that when Bulls beat the Suns, they ain't had Cedric Ceballos. Cedric Ceballos was like an 18.
That was a huge loss for them.
You can say that all the time. I mean, you could go back and rehash a lot of that with finals and who had what and who wasn't there and all that. In all honesty, a lot of finals winners, most final winners, you got to get a little bit fortunate.
You got to be fortunate.
So,
that's like go to state. And be truth be told, like the Toronto Raptors when they actually won because KD went out and then
Clay got hurt.
Clay got hurt.
And Looney. Kevon Looney got banged up. KD, even without KD, I still think Golden State would have won. I mean, they lost KD in the second round, and early in the second round they finished off Houston, swept Portland, and then was in the finals playing Toronto, and it was a tight matchup until Clay got hurt, and they was actually up that game. Clay got hurt, and they lost that game. I think that was Game 5.
Yeah,
and they ended up losing that game, and then inevitably lost the series. So. Again, Minnesota, I mean, even Golden State and a couple of their runs to get to the finals got fortunate with the Kawhi injury and all that kind of stuff like that. So, I mean, stuff happens. Sometimes you get the luck of the draw and you get fortunate and you pull it out. But this was the Sixers year, I think a lot of people felt because everything seemed to be in our favor. Udoka got suspended. They had Boston had a rookie head coach. Miami creeps in and knocks off Milwaukee, the number 1 seed. So now it's like the door is wide open. We thinking, all right, if we get past Boston, we definitely got to fight his chance against Miami. We probably should be Miami. And the wheels fell off. And I think that's where most people is upset. I know I am because I predicted them to be in the finals this year, and I think they should have. So with that being the case, Tim has a lot of blame to go around. And for some reason, all week we've been hearing. I mean, this is why I need y'all for podcasts such as this. I need the commentary from the viewers because Tim all week has been harassing me, Ethan, and Wayne, trying to tell us that everybody else is at fault except Doc Rivers. This is his thing. He's telling us Doc Rivers has somehow in his mind escaped all types of blame and accountability. So he's gonna regurgitate some of the points that Doc Rivers made in his last exit interview, I guess, his interview on the way out the door, that he made some statements about beating Harden. So as Tim makes these statements, I'm going to respond, but I want y'all to respond because I'm trying to think if y'all thinking what I'm thinking, and Tim is on an island by himself, or does Tim have support? Is he think because he kind of thinking Doc should have stayed a little bit? So Tim, go ahead. What you got to say?
All right, I like how you did the setup that you did. First of all, you put in you now you got them thinking a certain way.
Okay. Okay. Right.
Here's what I will say. Doc Rivers was not he's a very good coach. Was a very, very good coach. And in my opinion, I thought that more of the blame should have went to the stars who didn't show up in games 5, 6, and 7, or at least 6 and 7. But what he did was this week, Doc Rivers did he did a podcast with Bill Simmons, the Bill Simmons podcast, and he actually made some really good points. What I would like to do is I want to go over every question that was asked to Doc Rivers and his response. And then I'm gonna give you a chance to see if he off base. Because me personally, I don't feel he was off base. I feel he made some valid points. First question he asked, he said, what does Joel needs to do to win a title? That was the question asked by Bill Simmons. He said, number one, he needs to be healthy in the playoffs. This year was the healthiest, but he still wasn't 100%. Agree with that?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. And he said, number two, for Joe, he's got to make all of the players better in the playoffs. And his numbers are unfair. If you look at his numbers during the last 3 years in the playoffs compared to the regular season numbers, they're not very good. A lot of that is due to injuries. The first year I had him, he hurt his knee. The next year he gets hurt. He gets hit in the face and tears a ligament in his hand. And this year he had a knee injury. He was never the same when they came back this year. So health is number one. But then he went back. He said, but second thing is he has the ability to make others better. I stayed on him daily. He has the ability to make his teammates better. And when he does that, and if you look at our games where he did that and he dominated, it's hard to go away from Joel Embiid. It really is. He just has to do that on a consistent basis, not just on the court, but off the court also. Just be around your guys, spend time with your guys, and let them know that you love them because they love you. Respond to that. What did he say wrong in that statement?
No, he didn't say nothing, but you kind of told me he was coming at Joel Embiid. I didn't hear the statement. This is the first time I'm hearing the statement.
Okay, so this is just 1 of 6.
Okay. Okay. Nothing. Listen, I agree with everything he said about that statement. I have nothing to say negative about. Somebody in the comment section, I think it was Ron L, said he took the high road, or Phil, somebody did. But it looks like right now it's looking like you on the island, according to what I'm seeing in the chat section. It's saying about him not making adjustments. Ron L, he didn't give no minutes to Jayden McDaniels, the same thing you were saying.
Fair criticism.
X-Man says he's a fraud. Rasheed Wallace, Rondo, Glenn Davis, Kawhi, and the Clippers. Beat writer said Rivers doesn't, I guess, hold himself accountable and doesn't adjust. Rivers is a con man. So from what I'm saying, Tim, you on the island by yourself. Somebody said Tim is definitely on the island.
All right. Here's the thing is.
That's Ziggy said that, by the way. Ziggy Marley, you definitely on the island. Go ahead.
See, I disagree. For the first set of questions, the first question, I thought he answered it appropriately.
Okay. All right. So what's next?
Okay, next. Rivers went on to mention how Embiid sitting out his first few years set a tone where he got used to not playing in games. He said, fighting that tone when I first got there was huge.
Go back. He said B got used to sitting out games. You saying?
Yeah, B got used to sitting out games. He said,
Okay.
fighting that tone. When I first got there was huge. Joe, you need to play tonight. Joe, you can play tonight. That's what he had to tell him. Joe, you need to play. You can play it. Now, then he said, now he's up in games. He crossed that barrier. The next one will be making his teammates better. When he does that, he'll be hard to stop. I think he will do it. He said he did believe in him. I think he just forgot. I think he said we forget his age, but Embiid almost 30 years old, so I don't think his youth is not on his side right now. But he did say that he made adjustments with it. Embiid would get there and sit out games and like eat cheeseburgers on the sideline. Remember that? He was a little bit immature, but Doc got him to the mode where listen, you playing. He was that big brother, that coach that he needed to be stern with. Do you got a problem with what he said?
He said that in layman's terms, he's saying when he first got there, Joel Embiid didn't want to play that many games.
Yeah, any so-called injury, Joel was trying to sit out. Like I can't play. My leg is hurt.
So he played. How many games he played this year?
Over 60. Like he played a lot more because he was trying to get the MVP, but he played and he got the MVP.
Okay, all right. So he ended up getting hurt in the playoffs every year under Doc Rivers or Glenn Rivers. The comment section is saying, calling him Glenn Rivers. He got hurt every year. He got hurt every year that Glenn Rivers watching the playoffs. So do you think it might have been beneficial to rest him more in the regular season?
No, because he got fluke. Remember, those were fluke. A couple of injuries was fluke.
The only one that was really a fluke injury for most part was the one he got smacked in the face in the ligament in the thumb. But the both knee injuries possibly could be wear and tear. Knee injuries is not always, but they could be wear and tear injuries, right?
I mean, it was a little hyperextended his knee at one point.
Can that be a wear and tear kind of thing? Like,
I don't think it was.
I mean, but a player has been hurt all the time, and I'm not a huge proponent of the load management thing, but I am to a degree because I'm not of these 80s players. These 80, 90 players is like, oh man, we played 100-something games back in the day. We played games, 3 straight games and all this kind of stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, but y'all didn't work out like these dudes are. They didn't put their body under this amount of stress. Y'all didn't play. Now Joel Embiid's a little different because he didn't come up playing in the I'm gonna say intramurals, not the intramurals. You know what I'm talking about, the little, I can't even think of the name. The junior basketball tournament joints. He ain't come up playing all them. But at the same time, these dudes' workout regimens, they basketball schedules are way more intense than they were back then. Them dudes all season training and workouts. Remember, Jordan didn't start working out until probably his like 6th, 7th year in the league. Barkley I think Barkley didn't work out until the very end where he started doing some back training. That's why he always had back injuries. He never really touched the weights.
So was Joel's a part of a Kansas program. He was
AAU. Over. Thank you. I'm sorry. AAU Muse. Thank you. That's what. Go ahead.
I mean, he played for Kansas. He sat out 2 years with an injury in Philadelphia when he first got here. I mean, he had a chance to develop, and he's gotten better. I'm not even saying he's gotten better. What I'm saying is
what happened to
Yao Ming on his body.
How many dudes? But how many dudes Joel Embiid size played a lot of games? Shaquille O'Neal never played that many games. Joel Embiid might have played. He might have played
a lot of games.
It's a rarity. Look at Yao Ming. Yao Ming career got short because of foot injuries. He kept having foot injuries.
He played a lot of games.
Doc is that's what I mean about when Doc though. That was nutty what Doc did and what he said about Joel Embiid, which probably was true. You know, you do get used to sitting out. You know what I mean? You can get comfortable saying, I play this game. I ain't playing back to backs. Remember, B didn't play back. B probably ain't started playing back to backs regularly till last year. To be honest with you.
Exactly.
But what Doc did was paint a bad picture, in trying to stick that picture on Embiid. It's kind of painting that
give a narrative.
That injury picture, the lazy picture. He had to force Embiid to play back to backs. Doc painting a bad picture for Embiid for some reason. I don't know why. But that's kind of nutty. That's kind of nutty. That's kind of nutty for Doc Rivers to do. You taking something back from all the way back there when 2 years ago when you first got here, and you bringing it up now.
If I got you fired, you gonna protect me when you leave?
Huh?
If
You still get your ain't Doc Rivers still getting paid from the Sixers?
If I got you fired from your job, are you gonna be all protective?
Stop comparing this to that. He's under contract. He still get. If I had a contract with a job, and I still got hold on. If I had a contract, he is under contract. If I signed a contract with a company for 4 years guaranteed, and they fire me in the second year, they still got to pay me for the other 2 years.
They still got to pay him, but then he don't got to protect the players.
It's a difference. So don't. It's different than regular work. That's totally. And you still, and Doc still wants to work for another organization. So how's that helping his character?
William Conway says Doc is at fault. We needed a backup point guard in 2021. He refused to develop Maxey throughout the season, and then the Ben thing happened. Same thing with Reed in 2022 and McDaniels this year. Tim, your comments on that statement?
I'm blaming Morey because Morey should have got a traditional backup point guard. He never brought it in. It was like a lot of stuff happened on Morey's watch, and then he had to blame it on somebody. Blame it on Doc.
What was that year he brought in the bull? Last year, didn't he bring in the bull? George, what was his name? Was that last year, 2 years ago?
Who that?
The dude that went back to Milwaukee. I can't think of his name.
He was
George Hill.
George Hill. He was injured.
He still brought in a backup point guard.
Listen, through his tenure here, I mean, listen, Doc going to go back. B could go back. B could go back to Doc losing 3-1 leads. He could go back to him having the Clippers and not ever getting to the finals with the Clippers team that he had to have Chris Paul and all them.
If you look closely at those series, if you look back at the circumstances, you'll see that a lot of it wasn't Doc's fault.
He could go back to when PG had his worst playoff performance under Doc Rivers, and they was calling PG Pandemic P, and he never played that bad. And then he came out and said, "Yo, the boy Doc." Everybody was screaming at him, trying to make adjustments. He ain't make adjustments, and the boy Paul George looking like cheeks. He ain't never looked that bad before or after.
But they said he was having a nervous breakdown playing inside of the. See, people forget that he was having a breakdown because he was.
You got an excuse for everything. My goodness.
Yeah, y'all forget that. Did y'all not hear him saying that he was mentally struggling because he was on lockdown? He couldn't see his family and everything.
He was struggling because Doc Rivers wouldn't make adjustments. That's why he was struggling.
He missed the stripper wife. She wasn't around. So he ended up upset and he couldn't.
Okay, so why you have two players who have mental breakdowns underneath Doc Watch? And so Ben has a mental breakdown and then Paul George has a mental breakdown. And ironically, both of them are coached by the same coach. Is that not telling you something, bro?
No, because first of all, you called. So you trying to say you ain't calling on? You was talking about Ben before Doc got there, or now you said it just happened, but just Doc.
No,
you said Ben needed Tim. You said Ben needed a strong black role model, and that strong black role model drove him to the crazy house.
He got sabotaged. Let see y'all forget.
No. You forget that when he could have protected Ben and pulled him out of game in certain scenarios, he didn't. He left him in there to dry.
He had no idea. He had no idea.
How don't you? How don't you know that?
He thought he had a emerging star in his hand that just needed to be pushed a little bit.
Nobody thought that but you.
Thank you, Ron L. Thank you. Said Tim full of it. Yes. X-Men Tim, the cap is insulting now. It is. The cap is getting
all right. Can we really go back that year when Ben had his nervous breakdown?
Okay,
can we start from the beginning?
Go ahead.
When Morey came in on the scene, because it's really Morey's fault, he set the precedent for it. What happened was Ben Simmons was living life. Him and Embiid always was like 1 and 1A as far as the stars of the team. What happened was Morey made a trade to Houston, and he was trading for Harden, but really Houston was just using them to get Brooklyn value up for that trade. But they was gonna give up Maxey. Maxey manager was notified. It was, and then, Bible was in that trade, and Ben knew he was being traded. The trade was a bluff. It was all bull. So what happened? Ben is now salty. Now he feel like Joel signed off on this. He ain't my man's no more because I see how he's acting. So now that's what started everything, and then everything built up when he would start hearing what Joel was saying.
It was never cool. It was never cool.
But that made it worse. Say that didn't make it worse.
I'm gonna tell you. Doc said, I want to change a little. Doc said something very interesting. I don't know if everybody caught that. He said Embiid has to hang out with the team, go out with the team. The Sixers never had a team feel. It was all, they never hung out together. They weren't really friends. Remember this? The reports kept coming out that Ben and B really didn't like each other.
Yeah, they was rivals. Remember, Ben wanted Tyronn Lue to be the coach, and then B struck it down.
Listen, you're never going to win a chip like that.
But who? How many people is rolling with Denver? Is Jokic going out with Jamal Murray and Porter and all them? I don't know. Like, I don't know what the chemistry
they've been together for 7-8 years. I'm pretty sure they're close with each other.
They said Jordan was never really that close with nobody. Jordan was a recluse for the most part outside of his golf buddies and Charles Barkley for a time. When Charles Barkley was groupied up on Mike for a minute. Like
Mike faked that. Mike faked that y'all was friends. See, it's a difference. Mike, everybody thought they was Mike friends.
But no, the team, really nobody in the team really thought they. Mike had a couple other basketball.
Mike, they all thought they was Mike friends.
I ain't hear.
There's no camaraderie. Doc was saying there's no camaraderie on the team.
Because Embiid would go on the road and just go to his hotel room and just order Uber Eats and everything. He would never go out with the team. And
Shaq and Kobe didn't win J. Carr until Phil Jackson came on the scene.
Yeah,
remember they couldn't get along at all.
Remember Phil kept giving Kobe books and giving Shaq audible.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think you have to be buddy to win and do all this lunch. I just think everybody got to do their job.
You got to have chemistry though. You need chemistry.
Yeah.
On the court though. Like I just think I don't think you need to be friends. I just think you have to be great workmates. If you work together good, you can get the job done. Just like at regular work. If you want a project and somebody say, "Yo, we need this project done in 2 weeks," and you get the best two dudes who know how to do their job, whether y'all homies or not, y'all gonna get your job done because y'all know how to do your job efficiently. This came down to.
They said you know what's interesting about that? Joker was talking about how Jeff Green had everybody over his house for dinner. He said about how nice his house was and stuff like that. You ever heard anything that from the Sixers?
And
players?
Joker couldn't stand it. He still wanted to go back home. He was rolling his eyes when they got the parade.
You ain't seen him after the parade? Talking about I'm glad I came here. I love it.
He finally did because he had a couple drinks and they probably you know what I mean, took him out.
Embiid probably don't want nobody at his house. He probably scared they're gonna hit on his girl.
Listen.
Especially Ben Simmons, he's probably keep that light-skinned boy away from my woman.
Ben Simmons ain't scaring nobody. Ben Simmons wouldn't even scare me. Ben Simmons ain't scaring nobody. But listen, the Doc had to go. Go ahead, Tim. It was another statement. Go ahead. It was a couple more statements he had to make. Let's clear this air, and then we'll come back to why he had to go.
All right. So say after some Celtics series and early. So he asked, Doc was asking what's missing from Harden to make him a postseason guy. And he said, I don't think anything is missing, Bill. What makes James great is he's one of the best individual players to ever play the game. He handles the ball, dribbles, attacks well, but that also allows you to attack him. You know where he's at. You know where the ball's at. In the playoffs, when teams are game planning against you, each game double and learning, and taking the ball out of your hands it makes it harder. It's easier to do that to James compared to someone like Steph.
Maybe
Curry.
You need to make the font bigger on whatever you're reading.
All right, I know I struggled with that one. No, basically what he was saying is Steph Curry. He said, and he said,
I was listening to Floyd Mayweather read for a minute.
He said what happened with Golden State was Golden State. He had this defense on Steph Curry, where Steph Curry always had the ball, and he was able to double Steph. He said Steve Kerr came up to him afterwards, like, "Listen, what kind of defense was y'all playing where y'all was stopping Steph?" And he said, when he told him, he said what he did was he took the ball out of his hand. He said he made him go off the ball, and he said that's what he need James to do. He said give up the ball and trust your teammates that you're going to get the ball back. He wouldn't do that. Harden refused to do that. He wanted to dribble, 4 or 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Then he wanted to shoot. That's what Doc was saying. He said, but in order for you to win in the playoffs, when teams are matching up against you, you need to give up the ball like Golden State did. Do you disagree with that, Ephraim?
No, I always said that about Harden. I agree with that with Harden. I mean,
Sound it out too. See him. See. Listen, reading fundamental.
L Brown, Ryan L. I'm not agreeing with that. I'm not fully agreeing with that about Brett. But
no, he wasn't.
Listen, all Dr. Me is doing in certain aspects is digging a bigger hole for himself. Because you have moments where you could legitimately have set Harden for a second and have Max in there, even mix it up with Shake, even got McDaniels in the lineup, because Harden was playing so bad at one point, nobody would have blamed you for pulling him out the game. At least, and I'm not saying indefinitely, because he's still one of your stars. He could get hot, Harden could rain a couple threes and bring you back in the game. I'm saying he had a couple moments to pull him when we really needed Harden to sit down, and we could have won a couple of them games.
Harden quit, man. He quit.
Listen, bro,
Harden ain't giving up. Harden ain't running. Harden to get Harden to get a ball. I remember before we was talking about how the ball wasn't moving and how when the ball moved, how we're a better team. Remember we had this whole discussion before about the ball moving. I remember we had this before. I think when even when remember it was just Maxey at one point when Harden and Embiid was out, and it was just Maxey at one point, and how the offense seemed to run a little better. And we had this whole discussion, and people were screaming, "You can't win like that in the playoffs without him." Remember that? But people not here to really defend themselves. But the ball do need to move. The ball does need to move. You knew that with Harden coming in, though. It's not like all of a sudden Harden's going to magically play different. He can't. The boy's 30. How old is Harden? 34, 35, 36?
He said he tried to coach Harden up, but Harden wasn't listening to coaching. Now, did Doc sign off on bringing Harden in here with Morey? Was that a war of the wills? Was Doc trying to say no, and Morey was saying yeah, and then Morey ended up winning out on Harden? Because everybody knew what type of ball player you was getting with Harden. Honestly, we all knew that.
And that was bad. And one of the final things he said is, I thought about Ethan when I heard him. He said, "What kind of player do you think that Embiid and Max need to play with him?" He said, "The tall point guard." First thing I thought about was Tyrese Halliburton. That was the key.
Yeah, what's he, 6'6"? I think Halliburton's 6'6".
6'5", 6'6". A tall point guard, and he's accurate. That would have been the key for the Sixers, because you know that Tyrese is shorter.
So with him saying that, is he saying he don't think Maxey could be a point guard?
Maxey's not a point guard. No, that's what he's saying. He said he gets downhill. His strengths are scoring the ball, like just hitting the shots and just taking off. He's a scorer. It's almost like you're taking something away from him.
So Doc's saying.
Go ahead.
So Doc's saying, so by that point, he don't think Maxey could be a point guard, because Nick Nurse saying he wants Maxey to create more, and that comment is saying Doc is saying Maxey, he don't think Maxey could do it.
I can't believe we didn't get Halliburton either. But this is why. Remember me and Ethan. If we all want to take us back, I'm going to take y'all back, way back. When me and Ethan was saying all these Ben trades, right? All these Ben trades.
Mitri, right? My bad.
And Tim and Wayne was screaming out how valuable Ben was. You don't want to get pennies on the dollar. Remember, Golden State was trying to give us, I think it was Jordan Poole, Wiseman.
I think that wasn't serious. That wasn't
possibly Wiggins. They would go. Golden State was in the run to do something, and the price was so enormously high. And remember, I said this. I wish I need to pull tapes on this podcast. The price was so enormously high for Ben Simmons. Everybody was backing out, right? And he was asking for. Remember, it was funny in the papers and on the internet, rather. On different social media sites, we were talking about how Morey was asking for people's firstborn child and all this stuff like that. He was asking for arm and a leg for Ben Simmons, right? Then we get Harden and we give up the farm for Harden. We give up Ben, Curry, Drummond, and two draft picks.
Yeah.
For one player.
We
pretty much gave for one player because we got Harden and the other bull. What's his name? I can't remember his name. And he didn't remember.
They released him immediately, right?
Yeah. He never even played for it. So we gave up all those people for one player. When you was trying to get an arm and a leg for just the bull Ben Simmons before. This is why I said Morey to me was a fraud. That move was fraudulent.
That's what I say.
Had,
to me, he's the culprit out of everybody. He's the problem.
We could have got the bull. Remember, Portland was trying to offer us C.J. McCollum. We could have got McCollum in the deal. We could have got Halliburton in the deal. We could have got possibly, and I don't know how good Jordan Poole would have been here, but possibly like a Wiggins and a Poole and maybe even a Wiseman. Come on, man.
So y'all let Morey off the hook.
No. You did.
That's not true.
You did. You did this. You and Wayne.
You know why? You know why you and Wayne got to let Morey off the hook? Because y'all cheered and did everything else when he brought Harden in. How great that move was. Yes, y'all did. Yes, y'all did. Y'all bent down and kissed the ring when he brought.
And he's on a dollar. Remember that?
I never said that.
That's what you kept saying. You said that so much. I hated the saying.
Listen, I said over and over again. Harden will be a free. Harden did not sign a contract that Brooklyn offered him. I said he will be a free agent. There's no need to sign him and give him all these draft picks when you can get him for free the following year. And that was my take. I said there's no need to do it, but we did anyway.
No need to bring Harden back.
X-Man said the Kings deal was for Fox, not Halliburton.
It was for Halliburton.
I mean, even still, De'Aaron Fox. Now, stop. You see what the boy doing now? He ain't never leaving Sacramento. No time soon.
Phil W. Thank you, Phil W. Thank you.
Daryl Morey is a fraud and he's stealing money. Hey, I agree. I said this when Tim and Wayne. I remember specifically. Both them noodles said he knew what he was doing. He was so smart. He was going to ensure that we got the best deal for Ben Simmons. Y'all believed in him. Believed in him.
First of all, it was too much media hype. The media in Philadelphia was so Joe. They was like,
fell for the cat.
Not me, because I felt they cut the legs underneath Elton Brand. They gave Elton Brand a job for 2 weeks.
I agree with
that. And all of a sudden, Morey got the job. So now that's your boss. That was so corny. That's why the Sixers actually deserve what they get. Just because their owner, they got rid. They remember they was like we was doing everything with a group decision. They fired Brett Brown and they said They said Elton, this is your team now. You can construct it. And then 2 weeks later they hired Morey.
No, because Elton made all them trades. Elton won that trade. Elton Brandon won that traded away. Marco Fultz and them because he thought we had win now. We ain't get nothing for him when we traded.
It wasn't him. That was Brett Brown.
That was Elton Brand.
That was Elton Brand.
That was during the season. No, it wasn't. They traded him during the season before the trade deadline because they felt we had to push. We had to push to win. Win now.
No, that's because
he was in win now mode.
No, because of who they traded. Fultz for wasn't someone that was going to help us. That was for future. That was Elton Brand.
Elton Brand traded him.
He traded them off as the strength of they was listening to the media saying, "Oh, why Fultz ain't playing everything?" They got rid of him, but that was all courtesy of Brett Brown. He never liked him.
See, the problem was Morey was so hard and Google-eyed. It was no realistic trade that somebody was going to give him, and I say realistic trade that somebody's going to give him to get Ben Simmons out of here. Now, if Golden State was dumb enough to say, "All right, we'll give you Klay Thompson and Andrew Wiggins and Poole or something," then he'd have been like, "Okay, it's so good, I have to do it." But nobody was offering nothing realistic. He had Harden beer goggles, Google eyes from the very jump.
Marley, I agree with you.
And there was no way Harden wasn't going to end up in here. Yeah, Brett Brown. Yeah, Brett Brown would have kept Bridges. We wouldn't be in this mess. I agree. That would to me was the end. That official trade of Mikal Bridges was the end of the process. That officially destroyed the process in my mind. That was so dumb. That's what I said. That's why Brett Brown had to go. They gave him too much power, and he cost us. Yeah.
But
go ahead.
I was going to move on to
go ahead, move on.
All right, so we got Bradley Beal, CP3, Kyrie. Are you interested in any of these?
Was that it for the quotes of Doc Rivers?
Yeah, for the most part, that's pretty much it. I think we got everything as far as them saying Embiid need to be more of a leader, and Harden. Well, listen,
you can't make somebody see. You can't sit there and try to make somebody a leader. Either you are or you're not. I don't care how good their basketball game is.
I agree with that.
So if it's that point, you need to bring a leader in.
That's what I said. He need an alpha.
I agree with that. That's what I always said about KD. As much as I love KD as a basketball player, Tim think I hate KD. I just always made the point that I thought Curry was a better overall player, and part of that was because of Curry's leadership. KD is not a leader. He's just a ball player. He's just a very good ball player. But if you want to build your franchise around somebody, you do need to have some leadership. That's why I agree with Ethan with that about B, though. You do need to have some leadership. I don't think you need to have everybody over your house and breaking bread, but I think you need to be a leader on the court that other people willing to follow. And I don't know if Joel Embiid has that quality.
Yeah, especially if you don't got no chemistry. Like, and I guess this week we ain't really get a chance to talk about that breakup between Skip and Shannon this week. So he had his last show with in the not the podcast, but their show that they do on FS1, and they had good chemistry, but they didn't get along after the show. So I mean, it worked for them in that situation.
I think they got along up until some certain things turned him off. I think they got along after the show until Skip said some things and Shannon really seen what type of dude he was. Yeah, but a lot of people saying no about Bradley Beal, and I agree.
Bernard McCoy, thanks for the shout out. Abdul too, thanks for the shout out. Yeah, I mean, you and Phil, I appreciate y'all, man. The love and the appreciation for the pod. He said Maxey can be a playmaker. The game he broke his foot, he had 24.5 rebounds, 5 assists. What are y'all afraid of? I agree. Listen, I said that you might have missed that podcast. I said I think Maxey, if you got rid of Harden and kept the team the way it is, and obviously bring in some other pieces, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad to try to see it be and Maxey try to be the main two dudes for this team. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. I think Maxey has the work ethic, he has the drive, he has the skill set, he has the mindset to try to be great and get better. He loves basketball.
He does.
I like Maxey. I'm cool with Maxey.
I would like they need to get aboard Jayden Springer a shot. I'm telling you, if he plays next year, he go hit today. Pompey, he actually released a video. He hit 100 out of 121 3-pointers just practicing today, and he's an athlete. He's a great defender. If he can shoot and he can defend,
Who did that?
Jayden Springer. He was like a first year, second year player that we had. They just won the championship in the G League.
Okay.
He might be next up. And Max, that might be him and Maxey backcourt next year. Who knows?
How tall is he?
Like 6'3", 6'4", 6'3.5", 6'4".
I could work with that.
Here we go with these small dudes again.
That could be like AI and Eric Snow 2.0.
We already got Melton. We got Melton who's 6'3", 6'4". We got Max who's 6'3". We got Jayden Springer. We need a tall wing. We need a big wing, big point guard, like Doc said. He's right. We got to get some length into that. We got to get some length into that starting lineup.
But that's hard to find. I mean,
we got TJ Tucker. We got PJ Tucker who's undersized.
See, that's what you got to do. If you go have a smaller backcourt, you got to get rid of all these undersized front court dudes.
But you got that. You got that with B-Ball Paul could be a power forward. He's 6'9", and Jaylen.
We need a stretch. We need some stretch because you got Embiid. He's not a stretch.
That's Jaylen
somebody to hit
McDaniels.
the outside shot.
Jaylen McDaniels, 6'9". You'll have two 6'9" boys and a 7'2" boy in your starting lineup. You can work. I can work with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm. Sometimes you got to work with what you got. I know everybody would love to have the height. Don't get me wrong, but if you can't find a dude who's that good, who's good enough to be your floor general at 6'5", 6'6", they're not falling out the sky. Like they just not. How many teams? I mean, how tall is De'Aaron Fox? Like
6 feet, 6'1". He's not that.
Like, I mean, that's just how many teams got these 6'5", 6'6" point guards running around the league that could.
I'm not saying. Listen, I'm saying if you have a smaller guard like Clay's 6'5".
Clay's 6'7".
How tall is Clay?
Clay like 6'6", 6'7". But I'm saying how many dudes?
There you go. There you go. We need some size in the backcourt.
How many Clays is falling out the sky? That's all I'm asking. Like, I don't know. I don't watch that much college basketball. Who's up next? Who's another boy that's How many 6'5", 6'6" point guards you got in college?
Bronny.
I'm just saying we need. I'm saying like if we got a small backcourt, we need bigger wings. We can't have dudes like PJ Tucker.
I agree with that.
And stuff like that. You're gonna be small. Your front court can't be small too.
But you also got to look at Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is a very, very good number 2 player. If you match him up with a number 1, you got number 1s and Kyrie. Can Kyrie be the number 1 for your team? He gets buckets. He that moment, he's not scared of that moment.
If you a dog, man. They said Steph Curry was too small to be the one of the greatest players of all time, and he proved everybody wrong. Now, I'm not saying Steph Curry's is falling out the sky either. I'm just saying you guys some dogs. Somebody mentioned Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown is a dog. Bruce Brown is an animal, and he athletic. He got hops. He jumping out the building.
Ain't Korkmaz 6'5", 6'6"? I'm just saying.
Korkmaz trash.
Korkmaz.
Korkmaz 6'7". That's why I was saying they should give. Honestly, I was saying they should give Cork more clock. Tim hating on him because he a foreign
do the same thing.
I think Cork need to get more clock myself.
I agree with that too.
Hey, I do agree. Hey, we need young, athletic, big, fast wings. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that.
Bruce Brown alluded to. He said the reason why he wasn't re-signed with Brooklyn. He said the owners wanted, the management wanted him, but the Stars didn't want him. So
ain't he the one that said the only time they ever hung together was when Harden was there?
Yeah, he said it totally changed. He said when Harden left, it all went downhill.
I think Celtics.
First of all, hold on.
Go ahead.
Are y'all paying Bruce Brown?
Yeah, he's a good player.
I'm not paying. Nah,
I like him in
starter money. He's a role player. He's a good role player. He's not a starter.
But in the NBA, you're gonna make good money regardless.
He might be able to win 6 man in the year.
He worth at least $60 million.
He a baller. He a baller. What I seen him do to Miami, he a baller. He a dog. He got heart. He not scared.
He do. So we can get rid of our dog then.
We get rid of Shake Milton
and
Niang got to go. Shake Niang. I'm telling you all the people that got to go.
I like Niang for the spot up 3
too,
though. I like Niang. I can't. I'm not going to get rid of Niang that fast. I like Niang.
He just because he looked like one of your cousins. I'm talking about for real. Niang got to go.
He do look like my cousin Elijah a little bit when he had his hair. But that's not why I want him around. I do like a knockdown. 3-point shooter. He ain't gonna get hot, bro.
I think it's some better options out there. I do.
I mean, if it's better options, it's better options. I'm not mad, but you got to give them to me. Who the better option than the Yank?
I'm not. So who are you bringing? Who is Shake Milton? And do you think Shake Milton should come back?
If I get Bruce Brown, I don't care about Shake Milton. I'll play Bruce Brown over Shake Milton all day long.
I'm moving on with Shake. I'm moving on from Shake. Shake experiment's over. It's time to experiment with somebody else and actually get these dudes some burn.
So y'all totally out on Kyrie. You're not interested whatsoever.
No, I take Kyrie.
I'm definitely interested.
I'm out on Bradley Beal.
Kyrie a bucket.
Yeah.
I get Kyrie a 50, 40, 90 dude. That's impressive numbers,
to me,
bro. It's only like 5
Bradley
people
Beal's a
in the
little
game
overrated.
that did that.
I think so too. I agree with that. I always thought Bradley Beal was overrated.
I think he's a little overrated. His stats ain't even that great. His numbers. Look at his field. You ever see his field goal 3-point percentage? Ain't that great.
Like
this year they were down. I think was it last year when he was going back and forth with Curry. Not last year, the year before, when him and Curry going back and forth for the scoring title. We had a great year.
And he always hurt. Always.
I like Jeremiah
Brad.
Grant. He was here. I just something about him. Athletic, run the floor.
X-Man, you saying Bill overrated? Laughing face emoji because you saying he not, or you saying he is? I don't think he's over. I think Bradley Bill. He is. I mean, listen. Who has Bradley Bill ever really played with though? Like to really be able to take the scoring load.
Did he play with John Wall?
But John Wall, I'm talking about when how long John Wall been available? John Wall ain't been playing for the Wizards in 4 years.
But then they give him Porzingis. whatever his bull name is. They gave him
Man, ain't Porzingis was cat. He couldn't even play with Dallas like that. Everybody trying to call him a unicorn and all this stuff. Yeah, he wasn't. We wasn't that boy like that.
See, Bradley Beal. This is these players. Bradley Beal. Now he wants to go to another team, but I guess he wanted the money. It was all about the money with him at first. He got paid. Remember, he talked about he wants to stay at Washington. He had the opportunity. He had the opportunity to go to a winner.
Listen, you want that Supermax. You get that Supermax when you stay with your team.
I agree, X-Man. He a bull. I like the bull. I like Bradley Beal. I'm not that down with you. I don't think he never had nobody to play with. I think if he played with Joel Embiid, if you put him on this team with Joel Embiid, I think his numbers, his field goal percentage and 3-point would drastically increase. I think so.
How? Who's gonna pass on the ball? Joel not passing the ball out
Joel,
of double teams.
Joel, yeah, he do. It's slow. He gonna get it a little slow, but he's still gonna get there.
Joel gotta learn. I'm telling you, his biggest challenge is to make, like Doc said, make his teammates better.
That's right. Doc said that too. Hold on, we gotta talk about that.
What he said?
Doc said Joel needs to learn how to make his teammates better.
Yeah, you missed that. You was late with me and Tim discussing.
Oh, they talked about that already?
No, but go ahead. What's your thoughts?
Oh, BMW. He said he finessed. LOL. Who you talking about? Who was finessing? Bradley Beal? You saying finesse the league? Go ahead. What you saying, Ethan?
No, y'all talked about it already. That was huge. That was huge. We talked about that before, though. I don't know if we talked about it on the pod, but about B making other players better.
Yeah.
How it seems like these role players. I know a lot of people talk about our role players ain't that good, but sometimes the superstar can make role players better. I know LeBron is a hard act to follow, but he made bums look good. I know that's a hard person to compare anybody else to.
Yeah.
But you can make role players better.
No, I agree. No, I mean, yeah, most teams who win have a dude who does that. I mean, you got Golden State got a couple of them. You got Draymond. Draymond's a great passer, underrated, honestly, how good he can pass and set his teammates up. He sets Curry up a lot. Curry draws so much attention. He could be a great passer out of the double, triple team, get balls open. LeBron obviously could do it. Kawhi actually is a great all-around basketball player when they was able to win. I mean, Joker, great all-around basketball player. But you just got to be more decisive. I hate to keep saying that over and over again because it seemed kind of elementary, if you will. And I don't know how much that's drilled into his head or not. But if he can master that part of his game, he'll be the one. He will be the one.
Right. That's the key is, will he do it? I mean, right now, year number, he going into year 8 or year 9, whichever the case is. Second round, he's second round B.
Well, right now he is.
All right, before we get out of here, in honor of James Harden, what are the can you name up some players that we got that was washed up and we decided to pick them up as they were superstars?
What?
Other players that we picked up?
Washed up superstars that came to the 76ers because we got a habit of picking up washed up superstars.
Oh, yeah. Remember Weber Harden?
Yeah, we had
was Derek Coleman washed up when we picked him up?
Yes.
I was in Derek Coleman.
Derek Coleman was definitely washed up when we picked him up.
Keith Van Horn. Remember we had him, we drafted him, then we wound up getting him when he was washed up.
We got Tony Kukoc too. Was he washed up when we got him?
Yeah. He was
Kukoc was a good serviceable role player though. Like Kukoc was always what he was though.
We got a lot of those out there that
he always was what he was. I think we could have won a champ. That was the year we traded him for Mutombo and all that. I thought we actually got Mutombo kind of on almost.
Mutombo was washed up too.
He was.
Yeah. And Dio was talking about that.
Yeah, remember Kwame Brown? That bum never played for us either.
Oh yeah, no, the other boy that didn't never play for
us,
Kwame Brown.
What's the name for the Lakers?
Yeah, he got $40 million. Oh, he's a Danny Green. That's a good one. Danny Green was on his last.
Yeah, who was the boy from the Lakers again? What was his name?
Bruce. Start with a beat on it, like
Bruce something.
No, the center.
Yes, I'm talking about. It was I know you're talking about from the Lakers. I can't remember. Y'all, what's his name? The chat about to come up. Andrew Bynum.
I said start with a B. Yeah, Andrew Bynum was washed up. We got so many. For some reason, the Sixers always decide to get that star player thinking they the same player. And they just wasn't.
Remember, he was a crowd of people waiting for Bynum when he got off the plane and everything like that.
Yeah. Wait a minute, but who did we sign with Bynum that year? It was another player we got with him.
Weber. No, I don't know who it was. So it was probably
I said Dallenberg. Remember Dallenberg?
We drafted Dallenberg.
Yeah, Dallenberg. I like Dallenberg though. He was like a bootleg Ratliff.
Yeah. Remember we got Eric Montross
and Andre Miller. Yes, I forgot about the Andre Miller John. Yep, forgot about
Andre Miller could still play a little bit though.
No, he was
trash.
He was slow. Like that AI trade that was terrible. We got
Jason
Andre.
Richardson. Yeah, they're bringing back some memories now.
Yeah,
we had Danny Granger.
We got Danny Granger.
We had Kyle Korver first.
Well, Andre Miller was hooping a little bit when he came.
He was. That's what I said.
No, I think you know. I'm thinking about the other boy. Didn't we get the dude from Phoenix? What was the center? Something Miller. Didn't we get him from Phoenix?
I don't know. But I remember we got Scott Williams. We
Oliver
paid him all
Miller?
that money. Like he could play.
Used to be that chubby center.
Did Sixers get Oliver Miller for a minute?
I'm not sure.
I now remember that. I know we had Scott Williams.
Yeah, we got Scott Williams because he won all them rings with the Bulls, thinking we was gonna get a bona fide center. Nope.
No. Who was the boy we got? Joe Smith. Was he done when we got him?
Yeah, he wasn't the same Joe Smith before, like he was.
Because he was like a number 1 and number 2 draft pick, right?
Yeah, he wasn't the same Joe Smith. That's true. Yeah, Scott Williams was garbage. All them dudes in the Bulls got paid. Livingston, Scott Williams, all them garbage boys.
Matt Geiger.
Matt Geiger. Listen, Matt Geiger said that season he denied the trade. They was gonna trade AI, and he refused to do the 50% trade kicker.
Yeah, he saved us.
Somebody said Joe Smith was cooked. I remember Joe Smith. I used to like him coming out of college.
Oh, Monster Mash. I like Monster Mash. Monster Mash had a little bit of game left in him by the time he got here.
Jamal Mashburn, was he still legit?
No.
He wasn't Weber style. I think he had a little bit. He had some more left in the tank. He was all right. I like Jamal, though.
I did like Jamal, man.
Glenn Robinson. Did we get Glenn Robinson?
Yeah, we did get Glenn Robinson.
Big dog play here, play again.
Watched up, Glenn. I'm telling you, this is what we do.
That might be one of the top 5. Big Dog might be one of the top 5, yo.
Glenn Robinson came and played for us 10 years after he was in the league.
No, Ish Smith. I like Ish Smith. Ish Smith actually still hooping around the league a little bit.
Yeah, we had Ish when he was young, actually. He was still
Denver. He won a ring for Denver.
He just won a ring?
Ish Smith plays for Denver.
That's why he going Denver. Oh, yeah, you right.
Oh, speaking of which, what's the boy that we had last year that just won a ring from DeAndre Jordan?
Yeah, he did.
He was washed. He couldn't do nothing.
Right, we had Van Horn too.
As I said, keep Van Horn.
Remember, we traded him and we drafted him and traded him in something crazy like that. Remember,
we traded him for Tim.
He didn't want to get drafted by us.
We traded for him for Tim.
He didn't want to get drafted by us.
Yeah,
teacher gang. He was, Matumba was washed when we got him. I agree.
Jeff
he
Green.
was washed. And Shaq beat him up, man. Shaq beat him up.
No,
somebody said Montrezl Harrell, Andre Drummond.
Andre Drummond had some.
Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard.
Yeah, Dwight. Dwight wasn't the same Dwight. You know.
No, he definitely.
Right now, he playing like in Lebanon somewhere. He playing overseas in some country.
Yeah, he in 3-point contests and everything. He still want to play in the league though. He was still trying to get back into the league. Mashburn never played for us to the Sixers?
Who?
Jamal Mashburn?
He was injured. He said Mashburn never played. He was injured.
Oh, he never played with us?
For some reason,
I swear I saw him like play hoop with us, but y'all, you may be right.
No, you know who I'm thinking about for some reason? Every time I think of Mashburn, I think of Stackhouse for some reason. I don't know why. I think of Stackhouse.
Jerry Stackhouse. They should have made AI and Jerry Stackhouse should have made that work, though, tell you the truth.
I agree.
You had 2 alphas, that young alphas. And they like the year before.
Jerry Mashburn wasn't really an alpha. I mean, Stackhouse wasn't an alpha.
He wanted to be one. He was like, that's his team. Like the year before last, that was his team. With the Sixers,
remember we was playing. Ephraim might remember this. Ephraim, remember the Sixers coach that year? We was playing basketball.
Yeah, I was there too. We was in Narberth.
Oh, what happened?
We played basketball.
Oh, you was there, and we asked him who's he drafting. He was like Jerry Stackhouse. Remember?
Yeah.
Who's the Sixers coach that year?
The
black boy.
That was George Lucas.
Yeah, Lucas.
John Lucas.
We was playing with him and he had a son out there with him too.
Yeah, his son was trash.
Yeah, he was trash. But we was out in Narver. We was out there playing with him, and he told us, yeah.
Yeah, we should have drafted Sheed.
That's what I was about to say. Rasheed Wallace was the draft pick. He was number 4, and Stackhouse was number 3, either 4 or 5. And that's the we should have got. That would have been perfect. Yeah. Corey Brewer was a little washed, but Corey came through with us for a little bit, a couple games too.
Dang, I forgot all them names we had.
I know we had a lot of retreads run through here.
No, we never had Sedell Threat. Did we have Sedell Threat? He played for us.
Sedell Threat. Yeah. I think he played for us.
Wasn't he Walsh when he played
Jeff
for us?
Hornacek.
Yeah, Jeff Hornacek. Wasn't he? Jeff Hornacek was in that what trade was he in?
You got Barkley trade, wasn't he?
Barkley trade.
Barkley trade. Yeah. He's dude that rubbed his face for his kids every time before he shot.
Yeah. No, that was when he was in Utah.
And he missed them. I remember he missed them free throws for us to lose a game too. Jeff Hornacek. He was a great free throw shooter too. This was for his kids or something. Yes. Derek Coleman was like mentioned early.
He was the second.
He didn't even want to play ball no more.
He was collecting a check.
That's crazy. Greg Monroe. I don't think he ever was good, but he was terrible with us.
Gerald, a couple people named Gerald Henderson. I've used twice. Gerald Henderson. Yo, bro, it's so many names with the Sixers after all these years, man, that you just think of cats that should have never even been on the team.
Never should have. We gave him all that. We gave a lot of money to folks, and I know we missing people. But yeah, this was fun. No, JD, we had JD when Johnny Dawkins. We had him when he was still good.
Oh yeah, JD was still that ball. We had him a little bit. I mean, Jordan was horsing him and Hersey Hawkins.
Hersey Hawkins, yeah, he was killing him.
That's what Mike.
They was undersized too, though. Them dudes was like 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah. No, Hersey's 6. I think Hersey's 6'3", and Johnny. I think Johnny like 6'1". But compared to
Jordan
Mike,
Pippen was 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah, that wasn't fair. But I gotta take it down. I gotta give me something to eat. I gotta get up.
Yeah, me too.
All right, y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to Greg. What's his name? Lewis. He lost his son tonight. Not Greg Lewis. Ray Lewis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his son passed away tonight. I don't know what happened, no details, but he's 28 years old. He died. So shout out to Ray Lewis. Wishing him the best. But
congratulations to Denver too.
Oh yeah, Denver for y'all first national championship, basketball championship. But Elton Brand, that's a good one.
I forgot he was here.
Good
one. Right. I actually didn't forget he played for us. That's funny.
That's right. Yeah. Good one, CMB.
Like, comment, subscribe. If y'all think of some more names, put them in the comment section. But we out. Thanks for watching.
Deuces.